We're back.
Shout out, people. What's up, yo?
31 flavors.
This is 31?
31.
All right.
31 wonderful.
We moving and we moving and grooving. We are all back in here in the studio together again.
We're still waiting on Danny.
We're still waiting on Danny.
So things are back on track.
All good. We have a very special guest today. First of all, I'm Nigel Hall.
I'm Derrick Freeman.
And we have with us today Doug Belote. Doug Belote, if you don't know, Doug Belote is a very special person. He rode in here on a little bus today. And, you know, Doug, we always talk about Doug. I know y'all have seen some of the episodes or heard some of the episodes where we always talking about Doug. Because we always be getting into some deep shit, and then all of a sudden down the hall you hear, blah, boom, blah, blah, boom, psh, blah,
garage drums.
Garage drums down the hall. And it always breaks our train of thought. Well, we decided that we would bring the brother in today to explain himself and break our train of thought in our face. I want to see if he can do it. So, but nah, seriously, aside from that, he's an amazing drummer, an amazing person. He's a very funny guy. And and we're glad if you can look at him and see that he's a funny guy.
Start laughing, right?
You know?
As soon as you look at him.
As soon as you look at him, you start laughing. How you doing, Doug? This is Doug Belote, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! Welcome to the show. Studio audience of 2.
How you doing, big brother?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Pleasure having you. Doug and I, we go way back. I mean, we moved here as teenagers. Doug came from the Lafayette area, me from Houston, Texas, and we came here with
Did y'all move here at the same time?
No, he came a little bit before.
I came a year before him.
Because he came to school, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you came in 93, huh?
Damn. 95.
95. Well, yeah, I came here in 92, but whatever. The point is, I'm a year older than him, so.
No. We're the same age. You're just a week older than
I'm a week older than you. Yeah. That's right. See? So.
Every time it's Derrick's birthday.
I was 11 years old in 1992.
Yeah, I was 18.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we graduated high school in 92, right?
We graduated high school at the same time. Anyway, and he was, Kevin O'Day was a couple of years older than you. No, 1 year.
Something like that. Me and Kevin went to high school together. I didn't even know. Didn't even know he was an upperclassman.
Which is wild. I mean, both of y'all two of my favorite drummers all the time. Y'all went to high school together.
Yeah, he was
How big was high school? Damn.
Yeah, it was a big high school. It's funny. He was at Lafayette High too, and I didn't even know him. He wasn't even in band, and I was like, just a freshman. I wasn't even in marching band at the time. And the crazy thing is, I met him when I came to New Orleans. But I met Stanton when I was in high school, when the Loyola Jazz Band came to Lafayette High. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and how did that go?
That wasn't a rhetorical question.
No, how'd that go when you met Stanton?
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
He had long hair.
Oh, really?
With some circular
Stanton
glasses.
had long hair?
He had long hair and a ponytail, and he had a chain coming down.
Uh-huh.
And he was,
I can't see
I want to
that,
say he
but
was like
now
a little
I can't
overweight,
unsee
but
that.
maybe not. I don't know. He was like just like nerd with some round glasses. He had long hair and a ponytail, and he had a chain that came down. And he was playing with the Loyola Jazz Band, and we had. I remember our band director took us in the library to see. It was like the first college big band I've ever seen,
Mm-hmm.
And
And he was playing.
Yeah, he was playing. He was already at Loyola, and I think Jesse Boy was playing bass, and like a lot of guys was in the band that I
that you later figured out. Yeah. That happened to me too in high school. Like I think Mike Dillon played in my high school with the Weatherford College. It was a bunch of killing cats went to. It's like some little ass college in like East Texas. Bunch of killing ones. That's what the Weatherford. Yeah. Mike Dillon and them came through. Well, he went to North Texas too.
Yeah.
Or maybe he came through the North. Whatever. The point is, I remember seeing him when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And other cats like that. So it's crazy when you reconnect with people later. Anyway. So, bro, tell us about. See, because Doug, you interesting, man. Because like, just the thing, like people play gigs and shit. You see drummers out playing gigs or whatever. But Doug, you work your ass off, man. I don't think people understand what you actually do because you're sort of an anomaly when it comes to New Orleans because like you work kind of like more like a Nashville cat or a LA cat. First of all, how did you get to be that dude? I mean, you have impeccable time, so we know how you became that dude.
Obviously,
you're
a drummer
on the surface. But I mean, how did you how do you live that lifestyle as like a New Orleans musician, but you're really just a badass studio cat, badass touring cat. You just live in New Orleans. You kind of live in a dream. You just get to live here.
Basically, but I'm not as busy as I used to be, like touring and stuff. I don't do gigs around town hardly anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I play on Thursday nights with Jamil Sharif and whoever calls. But I mean, my whole thing it's weird because growing up, my dad was a studio bass player in the Houston and Lafayette area at Sugar Hill Studios in Houston. Uh-huh. So as a kid, I would go with him to sessions and fall asleep on the floor while he was tracking. And I was kind of grown into it. And then I started playing in church. And I just watched I watched my dad play in church, and I started playing church in 5th grade. And I wasn't it's weird, man. Growing up as a white kid, I hated rock and roll music. I'm gonna tell you why, because there was a guy.
That's weird, because I hear you playing a lot of rock and roll music
now. Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, you sound like.
And producer Jack Neal's always like, man, come on, stop trying to play it so funky. No, but
damn.
No, the crazy thing is in 5th grade, there was this. I know Nigel knows. There was a gospel guy named Andre Crouch.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I know Andre
and
Crouch.
They came to our church, and I saw that, and I was just like, I like this music, man. What is this?
Right.
And that was going on the same time in 1st grade where I grew up. There on the street I grew up. Everybody from this street over there goes to this school. Everybody from this zone, and me and my brother, my cousin, and a couple white neighbors. We were like 5 white kids that went to a 500 kid school. That we were the only white kids there.
Right.
So we young. We don't know anything about So we go. I'm going there, but that's the time breakdancing was big.
Yeah, we the same age.
Michael Jackson. So I grew up in all that. So for some reason I was like I grew up in more of the R&B side of things rather than like a grunge thing, or because all my friends in the neighborhood were listening to like Dokken and Metallica and everything. I wasn't into that. I wasn't like, I respect it, I just wasn't into it. And then so I just remember watching Andre Crouch at my church, and it just the way it made me feel, the way the gospel music made me feel that. And I went to a church where they clapped on 1 and 3. It was like, and except my family, because it was weird. If you see it, my family clap, you like,
right.
We on 2 and 4, but that's how it started, and I got into that, and then I watched my dad play sessions, and then and one day, I'll never forget. I was 13 years old. I was practicing my drums, my garage beats,
right.
And my dad came in the room real quick. He said, "Come here, I gotta show you this drummer down the street playing. There's a little festival every Friday afternoon called Downtown Live." And
Uh-huh.
So I played
that before.
Yeah. So I go. So he'd take me there every Friday, but this Friday I said, "Oh, I'm gonna just practice." So I'm like in my room, and he comes back. He literally comes, "Come see this drummer." I was like, "Who?" He goes, "I don't know. It's one of the best drummers I've ever seen, in my life." I goes, "I never seen somebody play like this." And I'm like, "Who? Buddy Rich?"
Right.
I don't know anything.
Uh-huh.
I'm 5th grade. So he takes me it's Johnny Vidacovich, and it's Johnny V, Irving Charles.
Ooh, Irving Charles, I totally remember him.
And John Cleary, like a young John Cleary, like
that's crazy.
Probably like 20 years old or 19 or whatever. And they doing a trio, and I'm watching, and it's just like, it made me feel like Andre's music made me feel. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching this stuff like, wow, man, like this is great. My dad goes, "You can play this?" And I said, I'm thinking to myself, I can play it. I don't know what it is, but I can play it. But I saw Johnny, he had his leg up and all.
Yeah.
And it was just the way he was, just his attitude toward the music. And I was like, wow, I never saw.
Especially back then.
Yeah. Oh, he was. This is the 80s. So it's he was playing.
Right.
And drinking.
Yeah.
Because I remember Johnny had like some beer bottles next to him, and he's like playing, he's like drinking, But it was amazing.
Whatever.
It was like,
he's crushing it.
Yeah, they all.
Still killing.
And Irvin Charles had a cigarette.
Whoever
don't know who Irvin Charles is, he was like, man, he was the funkiest bass player I've ever seen out of New Orleans. I mean,
Man,
him and George French was like,
I caught him late in life, but I saw he used to play with Bob French.
Yeah.
At the Storyville Club. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Place? Them, first of all, them kids used to be killing.
Oh yeah.
Like Thaddeus Richard, I think.
Oh
maybe.
yeah. I remember all that.
You know the cats. But
yeah,
Irvin Charles, man, unsung hero of New Orleans.
And he Irvin died in his late 50s, which was terrible. But so that I saw that week, and then the next week or 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back with you to this, Friday afternoon thing. So my dad, we get in the truck, we go over there, Charmaine Neville's playing, and but it's not Raymond Weber, it's Herman Ernest. So Herman Ernest, Roscoe. So I met, me, you, and Roscoe used to hang late. Yeah. So I met Roscoe.
Put you a blast, boy.
And they were all cool. And then I saw Raymond, like a young Raymond, play with Charmaine eventually, like a year or two after. But I saw that, and a couple weeks after that, same thing, man. I went back to the festival. There's this funky ass drummer from New Orleans, Bunchy Johnson. It's like, and it's like I got to see all these, because they'll have different types of music. They have a Cajun band, a Zydeco band, a New Orleans type band. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
And that it just watching all these guys, and and Herman Ernest would come to Lafayette at work at Dockside all the time. So when I was in high school, I would go over there, and the producer and engineer would let me sit on the couch and watch, but I couldn't say nothing. He said, "You ready to be a fly on the wall? Don't say nothing." Blah blah blah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
that's.
And watching
don't
Herman,
you dare say anything, right?
And Herman Ernest was one of the first real studio drummers I've ever.
Well, shit. That explains a lot, actually. And
I just saw it, man. I saw him, and then he'd come to Lafayette, and he called me. And it's like, that's when I got to New Orleans. He was really, him and Stanton were the only two guys I really knew.
So. My high school jazz combo, like I had already graduated high school. It was like the summer, like a few weeks after I graduated high school. So my jazz high school combo, was Jason Moran and, you know what I'm saying? My boy Jason Hainsworth, who runs at SF Jazz right now, SF University. Anyway, so we got paid. We played real gigs. You know what I'm saying? So just a few weeks before I was about to move to New Orleans, we had a gig. And we opened it up for Harry Connick Jr. in the Woodlands, right?
Yeah.
So, but Harry was like, no opener. So we had to play in the foyer, outside or whatever. It was cool though. But the point is, we was all in my boy Dave's station wagon, all the instruments and shit. Mm-hmm. So the trunk wasn't closed. We had it bungee corded down.
Yeah.
My cymbals fell out somewhere on I-45.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to us till we get there, and I'm just like, shit, I don't have any cymbals. So it's like, somehow I snuck backstage, went and introduced myself to Shannon.
Did you not hear the cymbals fall out when they
No, we was clowning. There's a bunch of dudes in the station wagon, 18 years old. No, did not hear the cymbals fall out.
No, we didn't.
To answer your question. But anyway, so I had somehow got backstage. I was like, I got to go find Shannon Powell. Because I knew who he was, because, obviously I was about to move here. So I was like, shit, this is the perfect opportunity. So I went, somehow got back there, met Shannon, explained to him what happened. He was like, man, go set up a kit for my boy out there. Get whatever you need. He's like, man, take my number. Call me when you come to New Orleans, blah, blah, blah. Hang out. But then I went and played ball, Jeremy Davenport, little Jeremy, Craig Klein, met all them, right? Yeah. Leroy. I met all them right there in the Woodlands that day. And it was just I was like, fuck, I'm moving to New Orleans next week.
Wow.
That worked out good for me. So that's, our stories is very similar.
Oh, yeah.
You just, when you start playing in church, all that, you're just thinking about the fact that we the same age too. It's
but Johnny was the one that got me.
It's a very parallel story. I'm saying me and you, our journeys to get here.
Yeah. My dad mostly played country music and Cajun and stuff. He recorded a lot of those records. Mm-hmm. A lot of those old records out of Lafayette, but he never wanted me to play just that music. That's why he made me check out jazz, all these drummers in New Orleans. He'd take me here as a kid. We'd drive here. And, man, I saw Johnny. And then in high school, I had another, revelation, man. It's they would let me go into Grant Street Dance Hall before I was not even old enough to get in. And, the owner of the sound, they come, same thing. You come in, you sit right there, you can have a Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
Just, of course I didn't do nothing anyway. I was just practicing and watching. Well, so I hear about this band, like, oh, you gotta hear this band. And okay, they're from New Orleans. Okay, so I go and I'm, sitting down, and it's the meters was with Russell Batiste.
Right.
And I'd never even heard of Russell Batiste in my life, man. And Leo was Leo, Jar. It was like, an art, but it just wasn't Zig. It was Russell. And man, Russell got on stage, and I swear, man, I'd never seen nothing like that in my life. He took his shirt. He was skinny too, man. He was like that. Yeah. He took his shirt off. He was just ripped. And I remember they had to nail his bass drum because it was this dude got up and played like he was trying to fight somebody. And I was just like blown away, man. I was just like, wow. And then, so I they finished the concert. Of course, I see him outside. He's walking outside looking for something, So I go outside and say, hey, Mr. Russell. He goes, what? Hey. He's like, how old are you? Right. It's like, I said, man, you sound amazing. I was like, man, you sound amazing. I was very inspiring. Thank you so much. And instead of him even saying thank you or anything, he's like, you got some weed? And I said, oh, no, I don't. And he goes, he's like,
well, I bet the next time you better
have some weed. The cool thing is, he's like, yeah, bro, come on, man, come walk with me. So he takes me by the drums, and he was awesome. Same thing. Gave me his number. Man, you come, and my dad came pick me up, and he told my dad, he said, say, bro, yeah, you ever come down, give me a holler, man. I got Junior. Come hang with me, and it's like that. And then, like weeks later, the Neville brothers are playing. I go out there, I sneak into the baseball park where they have and it's Willie Green, and Willie Green gets off stage, and you remember these. He gives me a bumper sticker that says "Mean Willie Greenstein," Mean Willie Green. So I had those, and Willie's another one, man. He's like, and Willie did the same thing. He gave me his autograph and all that stuff, and he's like, yeah, bro, if you ever come to New Orleans, give me a holler. I said, okay, yeah, and I'm in high school. He's like, yeah, bring some beer. Right. I was like, I don't drink, and he's like, oh, that's all right. Well, bring some weed. I said, I don't smoke. He goes, what you do?
Right.
But it was cool because, man, by the time I came here, I had, all these guys' numbers, and I called every one of them. They were all cool. Yeah. Like, come on over.
That's the thing.
And you know what, man? I moved to New York in like 95, I think. I came here for a little bit. I went to New York to study with Ricky Sebastian, who was one of the best things I ever did in my life. Man. And when I'm in New York and I'm seeing like Jeff Watts, everybody, the baddest cats in the world, man, play there. But then I came back here for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and I was on Frenchman Street, and I saw you, Stanton, Brian Blade. Everybody was just hanging out, playing at Checkpoint Charlie's.
Cafe Brazil, maybe?
Yeah, Cafe Brazil. And I just saw the camaraderie, and that made me realize I need to get back here.
Right.
And I came back here, and then, and this
the drummers, man, Martin Butler.
Yeah, Martin.
Kevin. I can't even think of all of them. It was.
Man, I got a crazy Kevin story I thought about the other day. Kevin O'Day, I came off this tour with like Anders Osborne or something, and remember that club that guy from that actor owned? It's where the balcony, not the balcony, it's like it's across from Checkpoint Charlie's, across the street. I don't know the name of it.
It was
Matador?
It was a Matador.
Yeah, Matador.
Yeah.
So we out there. I just get back in from like Europe or something, and I'm like wide awake. So I go and Kevin gets off stage, and he's always sweating, and he had a towel on him all. And he's looking at, and he always looks at me when we talk, and I'm like, he goes, hey man, so how was the tour? And I'm telling him, and I'm telling him about the tour, and he's like, and all of a sudden the eye contact just breaks, and he's like, and he's kind of looking this way, and I'm telling him about the tour, and I'm just thinking maybe he's not interested in what I'm trying to say, and he's like, and all of a sudden he just runs away, and I'm like, what the fuck, And I turn back around, they had a dude that had a gun to a guy's head right in front of the place. I'm like, thanks, Kevin.
Right.
But
that's how we know you're not black, because like
that's what I was about to say.
Nigel take off and run. I'm immediately like we
not
like,
asking questions.
No, I was like, we're gonna be 3 blocks away before I even attempt to ask what the hell's going on.
How the fuck was we running?
Right.
We in Mississippi by the time we asked that question.
Man, it's this city just has so much. I mean,
yeah, bro.
Man, I can't. Man, it's just. Even after Katrina went to Nashville, I became a studio musician in Nashville. I did great. I played on a lot of records, but man, I came back here and I sat in with somebody and I realized I couldn't stretch out like I used to. I'm like, I couldn't jam.
Yeah.
It was when OTL came
You've
here.
been in that box too long.
I know. I was like, man, I was playing clicks and boxes and everything. I was
Right.
And I was just like, playing the game there. And I'm like, after 5 years, I'm like, man, I can't jam no more. So I'm like,
Got to get in the shed.
Let's take a break because I want to talk about that, man. I'm glad you brought it up because you made me think about something, and I want Nigel to chime in on this. We're gonna take a little break, and we'll be back here with the great Doug Belote, y'all. We got another special guest coming to in a few minutes, but in the meantime, we got one more segment with Doug. Shadow People. I'm Derrick Freeman.
Nigel Hall.
We'll see y'all in a second.
That's the quietest I've ever been.
I know, because I can't believe it. I was like, this is what you do every week. And we're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back with Mr. Doug Belote. And he has a lot that he wants to talk about today. And we're giving him the platform to do so. Mr. Belote?
Anyway,
I'm just playing. I'm playing.
Yeah, so, okay, this is what I wanted to talk to both of y'all about.
No, he was talking shit earlier, so.
He was. We're going to get back to that.
Be talking shit.
We're gonna, this is a question I had for both of y'all. So, let's explain to people, because this is what we do. We deep dive. We give the inside scoop on shit. Like, because people seem to not understand, like, when it comes to music. Like, we have performing musicians. We have people who arrange and produce. We have people who cut in the studio. We have people who teach music. These are 4 very different jobs. And, like, so some of us dabble, like, you're primarily a studio musician, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? You're a touring musician, but also a studio musician. You know what I'm saying? I'm a regular musician also, but I produce and stuff too. You produce. What the point is, like, people often ask me, like, why I don't teach, and they think I'm like some curmudgeon or like some asshole because I don't teach, and I'm like, it's not. I don't know. I don't do that job. It's not. I mean, I'll give the gift to somebody out. There's like young cats. You show them shit. It's not like I'm not trying to gatekeep, but it's not. Some people are trained to do that. People don't understand. It's a whole different method of training to learn how to teach music versus learn how to play music or learn how to record music. So what do y'all think about that?
I think in terms of teaching, I think it's a difficult thing it's not for everybody. I think everybody thinks they can do it.
Right.
Until they do it. And then they realize that it's a completely different hat that you have to wear. In order to be a good teacher, you have to, first of all, really know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
Which, I'll get into that later. You got to really know what you're talking about. And you got to have the patience. And you have to have the patience to teach. And you have to be on time. Because the class or whoever it is you're teaching is going to be on time because they want to learn. And a lot of all 3 of those things aren't with musicians most of the time. It's rare to find a musician who is on time, who knows what the fuck they're talking about, and who has patience. You know what I'm saying? I have always felt that I wanted to teach, and I get it, the rare opportunities that I do get to teach, I really take them to heart because I do love teaching.
Yeah.
But you also, the other side of that, it's not just the musician side, it's the student side. Does the student really want to learn? And I think for musicians, with the rare opportunities that I get to teach, I always let people know that the best way to learn is by listening, is by being quiet.
Absolutely.
Just like, that's the only way you're really going to hear and understand the nuances of what it is that you're trying to learn. That's my opinion in terms of teaching. What was the rest of the question?
We were just talking about studio musicians versus touring musicians versus teachers. Like,
and then being a studio musician versus a touring musician. And I love both of those things. There's something special, I think, on each side of that. If you want to know what I like more, I think I like being in the studio more.
Yeah.
I really, really do.
I think we all do.
I think I like being in the studio more because I'm real comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm with a group of people that know what's going on. And or at least have a general idea that we may veer off of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to be prepared for that shit. But when you're in the studio, I just think I'm just so comfortable there. Like, I can kick my feet, I can take my shoes off. Yeah. Feet stink. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, well, sometimes it matters. But we all are in there to create and like let the wildest parts of our mind run free. And you know, sometimes that's not good. Depending on who you got in there. But also, I think that's the special part about it, because that's really how you learn who a person is and learn and really get into like, all right, this is the person that, for instance, like the first time I met you when we was in the studio in Florida, and it was you, me, and O'Teal. Yeah. And I think Kofi might have been there.
Kofi was there, yeah.
Kofi was there. And it was the first time I had met Doug, and I walked in there and I'm like, who is this motherfucker? Because the particular band that we was playing with, they was always switching motherfuckers around, and I was like, who is this motherfucker? And he was just real nice. He was just so nice. And he was just you just gonna block my shot. That's all good. And he was real nice. And he came to me and he was just like, hey man, I'm Doug. And I was like, all right, Doug, let's see what you got. And it was me, O'Teal, Doug, and Kofi. And we just started playing Actual Proof. Which okay. And let me ask you this, because
you know how that started? Because I was just playing around playing the Actual Proof beat, and you were like doing something, you're like, and then you started playing it, and then O'Teal was coming out there, and then of course Kofi was on the other keyboard, and then he got his flute out. Yeah. And then we started jamming on it. And I was like, that was the first time in my life I've ever played that song through and through with real musicians.
All the way through. Like, it was the first time. It was the first time for me too to actually really play it. I think, and honestly, of all the times I played it, I think that was the one time I played it right, because I had to play it right, because O'Teal was on the rare sighting of O'Teal with a P bass. And y'all, and look, anybody that know about O'Teal, y'all see him, you know, he playing with the Dead and all of that, and he's not playing the P bass. When O'Teal got a P bass in his hand, he is an animal. And then Kofi was playing the flute part, and I don't know why he wasn't playing keys, but he wasn't trying to play keys.
You and Kofi together, though, that was thought out, man.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, I would be watching y'all, like I would be playing, you know, with that band, and I'm watching y'all, and when one of y'all do something, y'all would be like,
yeah, I really miss him, but it was the first time I really I was under the pressure, like I had to play this right because everybody else was playing it right, and like. And I couldn't. And then you remember when everybody looked at me and it was time to solo? I was like, "Oh shit, I got to solo over this," but I didn't do too bad.
But I remember like the flute part had to be there, like when Kofi started playing. Yeah, you know, that opening line. That's the only way I knew where I was at. so Kofi, even O'Teal would tell you this. Kofi was the best musician in there. You know, it's like
he was. Yeah. He definitely
that guy
was.
Just like that was like, man.
And I think what made him the best musician is he understood the difference between studio and live. And even though we were just in there like rehearsing, because that's another element. When you're just rehearsing, then you can try shit. Yeah. You can try shit. You're free to be like.
And we were doing that while the band was eating lunch.
Yeah, they was eating lunch.
Would eat lunch. We stayed in there and just like.
That's back when we was young.
Oh yeah.
I did this.
We take lunch now.
Yeah, we take lunch now.
long lunch too.
Long lunch too. Right. Like scroll
and a nap.
Scroll lunch.
Right.
Smoke break. You know.
Hey man, just while we're here for a second, let's just like give a moment for Kofi Burbridge.
Yeah.
And Herman Ernest.
Kofi Burbridge.
And Kevin O'Day.
Carlo.
Yeah. Oh,
Russell.
Yeah. Carlo. Russell Batiste.
Skinkus.
Yeah.
Skinkus. Michael Skinkus, y'all.
Man, it's crazy that we even naming this many names right now because it's kind of freaking me out. You know, I was like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, so I just wanted. I just wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just talking about all these people that's not here no more. So it's like I just wanted to acknowledge them while we were talking.
And
about
it's crazy too because, like, you know, I was talking to you last night at dinner about somebody who I really, really care for, who I was seeing go down a path that's not really good. And you know, I just like, you know, I really, you know, we old now, man. Yeah. Like we old now. We've known each other. All of us have known each other for over 20 years now at this point. And it's so crazy. 30, That's what I'm saying. Y'all motherfuckers was here when I was 11.
Right.
So like we've seen a lot of time go by. We all individually have changed drastically from the time we met. And we are all getting older and we're still here. And that is not a light thing. That's not to be taken lightly. Oh, yeah. You know, we are here to, we still here to clown and joke and play music and clown and joke. And there's something special about that. And like, you know, I wanna keep that. That's some real shit. But anyway, man, I don't know shit.
I was gonna say, like, David, speaking of that, David Tarkanowski, like 20 years ago, he's, you know, 20 years older than us. He'd always call me at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning to do a session. Like, hey man, call me back. Like, and I, you know, at that time I'd wake up and it's like, man, why are you calling me so early? I'm like, so
no, wait. First of all, you remember that thing we did? Well, I was the rapper about hematology. Yeah. Hold up,
I don't. Again.
Oh, that was funny.
That was the Torque shit. It was like a, you know. The hematologist convention or whatever.
Donald Ramsey was on bass.
Donald Ramsey was on bass killing, and Doug was playing drums, and I had to do a rap about hematology.
Torque didn't even show up to the gig.
No, Torque wasn't there at all. Like,
hey, yo.
No, but Torque told me to see.
We gotta get Torque on the show, man.
Yo, Torque is coming on the show.
I'm gonna see him tonight, actually, because I'm at the Leaf.
He told me once, I said, man, well, why do you wake up so early? And I was like, you know, I was 30 at the time. He was 50 or whatever. I said, why do you wake up so early? And he just looked at me and goes, bruh, it's just, you know, I'm scared of death. And anytime I can wake up, I'm thankful. And I said, and that always stuck with me when he said that. And I think I'm 50.
The morning's my favorite time too, dog.
I do my best killing in the morning.
Yeah.
And you know, we all wake up early. I wake up at
early
6:30 every morning. Yeah, even if I go to bed at 3. But I just I wake up every morning and I was like, wow. I made it another time because, man, you know, heart attacks run in my family. You know, it's like, and it's like I'm just like, man, wow. I see what Torque meant. You know, it's like back in the day.
Well, bro, come on, bro. You did your colonoscopy check.
I did.
So did I. We got a drummer colonoscopy.
Yeah, me, you, Stanton, Janine, everybody did all the same month.
We're not doing it. It's too many. You know, what
best sleep I ever had in my life.
Right, exactly. At propofol, we ain't gotta go through that again. Anyway, so look, man, that's the great Doug Belote. Man, we're so pleasure to have you. We're definitely gonna have you again. We're gonna have you. First of all, we're gonna have an all drummer. But speaking of drummers, I would like to talk to Stanton more. And Stanton, I have a quick question for you. What do you love about the drums?
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I got a club called Tipitina's, man. And,
oh Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, it's cool. And I play in this band, Galactic. Got my own cymbals. I got my own sticks. Drums, got the Stanmore snare drum.
What's going on right now? I know nothing.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
How long you been playing with Galactic?
Oh, Galactic plays with me.
That's
also Stanton and you and myself, we all had a great teacher in common. His name was.
Hat for a second.
Huh?
Let me get the hat for a second. Here's Stan Moore talking to Johnny Vidacovich.
Right, we all had a great teacher in common. His name was Johnny Vidacovich. Tell me about Johnny right quick.
So Johnny, tell me, what do I need to work on? Stan, if you work on more, playing, across the beat, it's like when I played at the Maple Leaf, it's very cool because I get to play with all these different musicians, Yeah. Do you have your own cymbals and sticks like me? No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't he do the thing with the thing?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Stanton's
Doug
gonna kill
Belote,
me.
Stanton Moore, Johnny V. No, he ain't gonna kill you. He loves you, bro. We love you, Stanton. We love you, Johnny.
we
Appreciate y'all, man.
It's all through love.
You'll know if it's quiet down the hall in the next couple of weeks.
Like exactly, yeah.
Oh, it is.
Somebody they murdered Doug.
They got him out.
Anyway, man,
Hey,
we
thanks
love
for
you,
having
bro.
me, man.
Of course,
Love y'all
bro.
too. Thanks,
Anytime, man.
We appreciate
I'll see you at the coffee shop
Crazy
tomorrow.
stuff.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short pause
And
and,
then
we'll
we
be
got
right
a whole
back
nother
with a
guest
whole
coming
nother
up.
guest
Y'all about
coming
to
for
be
you.
turned out up in this.
Yeah, buddy. We're the Shadow People. I'm Nigel Hall.
I'm Derrick Freeman.
We'll be right back.
Peace.